what a week, right? We have COVID, we have Black Lives Matter, and now we have fires in Shell Beach. It's like lions and tigers and bears.
Yeah.
Oh my.
It's been an oh my week for sure.
I'm so glad. I'm really glad that the first responders were able to get on it and get the backup they needed. And it was amazing how close it came to some of our good friends' houses. But such a relief. I know it's not completely out, but it's close. So let's say that's a good way to end not so good a start of the week. So anyway. All right. Okay, I'm excited for our guest today, Brian Collins, chef and owner of Ember Restaurant in Arroyo Grande. A native of the area, Brian was drawn to food and cooking at an early age. He received formal training at the California Culinary Academy in San Francisco. And while there, he secured an intern position at Berkeley's famous Chez Panisse, where after graduation, Brian was offered a full-time position, which turned into a 6-year stint cooking under the famous Alice Waters, who quite literally invented the term farm to table and sustainable farming and all of that good stuff. So how exciting.
After returning to the Central Coast, Brian held positions at Lido Restaurant as both sous chef and executive chef. He followed that post as the chef for Full of Life Flatbread in Los Alamos. Brian created weekly changing menus that gained the restaurant notoriety as one of the region's top culinary destinations.
Finally, it was time to do something all on his own. So Brian discovered a property in his hometown of Arroyo Grande, and he and his wife Harmony opened Ember. Let's welcome Brian to our meeting.
Awesome. Let's go get him.
How are you guys?
Doing well. It's good to see your face.
Thanks. Yeah, good to see everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, you bet. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. Since I got you the questions so late, did you have anything that you wanted to add or change?
Oh, no, I don't think so. It looks good. Yeah, I'm at your service.
Okay. All right. So did you get a chance to watch any of the other interview links that I sent to you?
I watched a little bit of Karen's. And then,
cool.
Other than that, I just kind of jumped right out of the restaurant and then over here real fast. And
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see you on Father's Day. I think it's going to be Mother Father's Day because Mother's Day got the short end of the stick this year. So
it did, unfortunately.
Okay, so we'll just start and go through the questions. We've already recorded the intro, so it'll keep it short for you and get you back out to the restaurant. So okay,
cool,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you have a long history on the Central Coast. Tell us about growing up here and what started your passion for cooking.
Okay, well, I moved here with my family in 1990, and I went to Paulding Middle School, immediately fell in love with Arroyo Grande, Pismo Beach, the whole Central Coast. Just really love the vibe here, and a great community, of course. And I guess cooking started with the very first job I got as a teenager. I worked down at the Splash Cafe in Pismo Beach, and that was kind of my first restaurant job as well. So
Awesome.
I was 15 back then, and then, I guess both my parents work, so sometimes when we get home from school, it's like, all right, if you're hungry, you got to make it, So that got me into the kitchen too. Had family that cooked a lot. My mom, my grandmother, or both my grandmothers, really good cooks. And so that kind of nudged me in that direction as well. And I think I was about 18 or so, and I really wanted to go to culinary school and learn, get some classic proper training and work in a big city restaurant and go that route.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so neat. So then, you went to the Bay Area and you were able to train with Alice Waters, which was so amazing as an intern. And then she hired you full time. Can you just tell us about that experience and what you learned and all the takeaways that you brought here to your restaurant?
Yeah, absolutely. An incredible experience from the beginning to the end. So it started off as an intern and literally knocked on the back door of the kitchen and just spoke with the chef to see if I can get my foot in the door. And I was lucky. There was one more internship for the whole year. And so I fulfilled that. And I even volunteered a little bit of time while I was going to culinary school, 1 week in the kitchen. After that, it was just such an invaluable training experience because they make the food just like we do at Ember. Everything is from scratch and everything's from a farm. And, you know, it's 100% raw ingredients. So, you know, there's no buying in the tomato sauce or anything like that. You make every single thing. It's really exciting. So I got, and they cook with the seasons. So every vegetable has, you know, there's baby vegetables and they grow up and you cook them all differently. And so I think that the experience in cooking and to be able to build a wide foundation of knowledge was really important for me, being a young cook. And my first job out of culinary school, couldn't ask for a better place to work. So cooking definitely taught me a lot about cooking. It also taught me a lot about, you know, the importance of a really good staff and teamwork for sure, not only in the kitchen, but in the front of the house. And that was the first restaurant I'd worked at where everybody got along. There's a classic thing in restaurants where it's like the kitchen versus the waiters for some reason. And they broke all that down and it was one team. And I think that that is so important. So, and I can go on and on and on. There's a bunch of things. I love the restaurant.
Well, that's one thing I notice when I'm at Ember is how much care the wait staff has in describing the food and how much they can speak to it. How many restaurants you go to and you ask the slightest little question and they have no clue. And that isn't as much to do with them as maybe no one bothering to give them the details, you know. So it's really one of my favorite parts of the experience there. So
thank you. That's what so we come out with a new menu every month at Ember. And the first day of the menu change, we have all the servers and busters and bartenders come in and we do a menu meeting. So I describe the dishes in detail. Everybody takes their notes. And as we're describing it, the kitchen kind of has a dish come. So when I'm finished describing this pasta dish, then they bring it out. And then, you know, people get to see it, they get to taste it, ask any more questions. And so we do that with all the new dishes that come out at the restaurant. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So many restaurants you go to, they read off what it all is on the their little notepad. Where your people, they know it.
Yeah,
they know it.
Passion for it, and I love
Hopefully. That. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Oh,
awesome.
So yeah, Shannon, did you want to ask?
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. Okay. Ember has had incredible success since it opened. Have you considered other locations?
Oh, we've certainly been offered a bunch, but it's we've been very fortunate. Yeah, the restaurant has frankly, it just surprised me how successful it become almost immediately. And in a lot of ways, we weren't really prepared for that. And in a lot of ways, we were prepared for it. I think with Ember, it's definitely kind of like all my focus and all the years of experience working at different restaurants went into opening Ember restaurant. And kind of like, I think other people, when they open a place, they're already thinking of like, okay, the second place is going to be like this and this and this. I never really had that, you know, forethought to do it. Trust me, one restaurant is plenty of work. I don't know, doubling it seems a little, we'll see, but never say never. Yeah, maybe someday.
Well, good, thank you.
Well, we're all oh, sorry, Jordan, I stepped on you, so we'll edit that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry. So we were going to ask you about how you come up with your menu ideas. I love how you present it to the staff, and I was going to volunteer to be a taste tester for 1 year.
Oh.
But it sounds like you already have enough of those.
we have a few. We could always use one more though, you know. The menu always starts off with the season that we're in. So we'll just say like another month or so. So next month's menu, we'll get you know, the corn's really coming in, and green beans, heirloom tomatoes, eggplant, summer squash, et cetera, et cetera. You know, the salmon season is coming to an end, but the albacore season is beginning. So that's kind of where we always start. And we just really just make like a simple list of ingredients. And, you know, we'll run. And from there, you know, we're like, okay, the heirloom tomato salad with fresh mozzarella, that'll be, you know, delicious. We always want to showcase the ingredient and the quality and the freshness. So that's really where it starts. And, you know, kind of behind the scenes, we have so many stations in the kitchen. We'll have the wood oven station, we'll have the grill station, our saute, and then the dessert / salad station. So we kind of have to fill in the slots there a little bit. You know, you can't put too much on the wood oven or that person will get buried, and you can't have too much on saute. So sometimes we'll start with dishes that we absolutely want to do. We have to do these, you know, and then, you know, we fill in the blanks from there. And that is something cool. I think the kitchen staff in Ember, we don't get bored of the same old, you know, because that menu changes every month. I've worked at some restaurants where it's the same menu, not only year round, but just like forever and ever. And there's nothing wrong with that, certainly. But I just wanted it to be a little bit more about the seasonality.
Except so the s'mores, the marshmallow dessert that cannot ever leave the menu.
I don't know what you're talking about. No. That is the most popular dish at the restaurant, period.
I think there might be like a cult following for that dessert.
Oh yeah. Well, we kind of like tried to be smart and like take it off this month and, you know, try something else, and people revolted against that. So we put it right back on immediately, and it stayed there ever since.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I like how when I know Lynn Deal visited you recently after the reopening, and she said she was just going to order 2 of the fried green tomato with the lobster salad and 1 of the s'more and call it a day, because those were the things that she couldn't stop thinking about. So
yeah, some people, I mean, you got to get it. If you haven't had it yet, it's like you must. Yeah. So.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So we being that is the subject of the day, with the whole, you know, last 3 months of what we've been dealing with. And I know we're all excited that Ember's developed a dine-in experience to offer guests once again. And I also have to say, as a side note, it was great seeing you take advantage of your time off, unscheduled time off. You got a whole new parking lot redesign there. It looks beautiful with lighting and everything. So
yeah, we several kind of upgrades. We did some work out on our patio and the garden that's out there to beautify it, make it a little bit more user friendly. And inside the restaurant, something that I'm really excited about is right there in the dining room, we have built a wine cellar. And so it's got windows and a glass door, so you can actually see into the cellar, and it's temperature, humidity controlled, so everything's like, you know, perfectly dialed in, and it looks really good in there. So kind of something else to look at when you're in there and you're enjoying your food and looking around the room. And yeah, the parking lot's brand new, and so coming back to some updates has been really nice.
Yeah.
And the dine-in thing is working, you know, it's going for sure. We're doing it by reservation only for the time being. And so I think people are really loving the fact that they can get that reservation at Ember Restaurant. And it's been fantastic. We've been, you know, booking out every single table all week long. So it's pretty cool. And then Father's Day is coming up this weekend. And, you know, we still have several tables left for sure, but it's just good to be back in the restaurant again and doing it. You know, it's been a very interesting 3 months, and it certainly makes you appreciate all that you have. And you know, we're very fortunate to once again have the community come out and embrace the restaurant and be so supportive.
Yeah, definitely. I know that we driving by it during quiet was hard seeing it all empty. So it's great to be back.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you.
All right. Well, this has been so fun, and I'm looking forward, like I said, to our Father's Day on the patio. So, my husband Michael, who has a pre-existing condition, can't go everywhere. So that was his one request was outside on the patio. So we're looking forward to it.
Very good. We're looking forward to seeing you there and to seeing everybody else down at the restaurant.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Brian.
Brian. Thanks for taking the time. All right.
Bye, Shannon.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
And looking forward to next week. We've got another great interview on deck. So once again, this is Ashlea Boyer,
Jordan Hamm,
and Shannon Bowdey
with the Pismo Beach Homes team.